Can you state your full name for us?
My full name?
Yes, ma'am.
Hilda Simoneaux.
And what were your parents' names?
My parents were John Henry Hobbits and Elizabeth Kreuzer Hobbits.
Kreuzer. You don't really hear that name too often. Where's that from?
They both German, and I'm German too.
Are you married?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your husband's name?
Jerome Simoneaux.
And how long have y'all been married?
55 years.
Nice. You have any children?
Yes, I have 6 children.
Wow. What are their names?
Jocelyn, the oldest. Gregory, the oldest son. Nick, the next one. Mary Claire, and Peter and Paul, twins.
Yep. My dad's one of 8, so big families.
Yeah.
And did you grow up in Rain, or did y'all move here?
I grew up in Roberts Cove.
Right.
And then when I got married, I moved here in Rain.
Okay. Where did you go to school? You went to school in Roberts Cove?
I went to school in Roberts Cove and also at St. Joseph High School, which is now Rain Catholic School.
Okay. And what grade did you complete?
I completed as a senior. I mean, I
All the way
graduated.
to high school?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like living in Rain back then when you moved after you got married?
Oh, it was a lot different than it is now.
How so?
Well, I don't know. There's so many different houses, and there's lots of houses for sale in Rain right now, and a lot of places where we used to go are not there anymore. Of course, that was a long time ago, and we used to go dancing at the OST, which is the old Spanish OST, old Spanish something anyway, trail.
Where did you shop in Rain? At just the Mervyn Kahn building, or did y'all shop at other places?
I did do a lot of shopping at Mervyn Kahn, but we had a Wilds department store right down the road from Mervyn Kahn, and I shopped there too for clothes, you know, both places for clothes. And there was another dress shop there. I think it was called Vicky's, or I don't know, I don't remember. On that same street.
So it's kind of like you would go to one and the other.
Yeah,
Did you ever go out of town to go shopping? Like, did you ever go to Lafayette or?
We used to go to Hyman's, yes, in Lafayette. And that took us all day.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not like that no more.
No, back then it was for special things.
And I used to shop at Dallas too, in Lafayette.
Yeah. What radio programs did you listen to?
That's a good question. It was something that came from Eunice, I think. And KSIG in Crowley.
Right.
I think that's about it.
Yeah. And do you remember when y'all got y'all's first television?
We didn't have a television when we were first married. Of course, that's 55 years ago. And I think we won our first television.
Won it?
Yeah.
How'd y'all win it?
I don't know if we took some chances on something. I think that's what happened, yes. Uh-huh.
That's interesting. And what kind of shows? Do you remember what kind of shows y'all watched?
Mm-mm. No, I don't remember. I, I remember I Love Lucy,
Yeah.
and I don't know what else. I guess the news.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you remember anything important happening in Rain?
Uh,
Like new buildings coming up or...
I remember where we used to go get some Coke floats, and that was at People's Drugstore, which is right not far from here, where there's an antique shop now.
Right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it was in the antique shop or it was right next to it?
Where we get the Coke floats?
Yes, ma'am.
In the drugstore.
In
Yeah. Coke floats.
Coke flutes.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
Uh-huh.
What is your first memory of Mervyn Kahn?
I worked upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the money, you know, the little box with the money that would go up and
Right, the little money chute things.
yeah, uh-huh. I did that, and then I was secretary to Mr. Milo Dabaval and Mr. Jankauer.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I did work for them.
And did you ever mix up which chute went with what
I
store?
probably did. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
How long did you work up there?
All the while I was working there, I didn't work there very long, but I guess it was about a year and a half or something like that.
That's a pretty long time. And do you remember all the different sections to the store?
Yes, the shoe store, and where the children's clothes were, and where when you walk into Mervyn Kahn, on both sides, I think it was like china and, you know, pretty glasses, crystal, and all that kind of stuff. Pretty stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember which department store you had to that had the most sales up in the front?
Maybe where the children's clothes were, because I bought a lot of clothes for my children, especially for my twins there.
Right.
But when I got married, the last children were twins, and I'd get all my clothes there.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't working there then. I quit working when I had my first child.
Right.
But from Mervyn Kahn, I went to Mr. Shapwee, Abner Shapwee, which was right in between the drugstore. It was a little bitty shop or house. It was the cutest thing. I wish they'd have never built that down or broke it down, or I don't know what they did with it.
What kind of store was that?
It wasn't a school.
Store.
Store. It was. He was a lawyer. I worked for a lawyer after I quit at Mervyn Kahn, and but I loved my job at Mervyn Kahn, but the lawyer paid a little bit more.
Do you remember how much you got paid at Mervyn Kahn?
It must have not have been too much, but I remember getting $165 at the lawyer a month. That wasn't much.
Back then it was.
Yeah, well, I guess it was.
Do you remember how you got the job at Mervyn Kahn?
No, I really don't know. Maybe, I think somebody quit. Somebody had, was going to have a baby or something, and that's why I got the job, and they knew that I probably was looking for something, and that's why I got the job. Yeah.
Some luck.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know that they make you quit if you're having a baby at Mervyn Con.
No,
No?
But I didn't, when I was working at Mervyn Con, I was not married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what kind of training you had to do to work upstairs?
No.
And y'all did it all by hand
Yes.
and up in your brain,
Yeah.
all the math?
Well, I had a typewriter to do the letters and, you know, yeah. Not a computer.
No, not a fancy computer.
No.
What were some of the things you had to do upstairs besides do the receipts?
Well, you see, I worked for Mr. Milo Doubleval and Mr. Jankawa, and I took care of the money thing.
Okay.
So that was my full-time work, you know.
What did you have to do for Mr. Jankauer and Mr. Miller?
Did secretary work, wrote letters and stuff like that, and when I was in school, I learned how to do shorthand, and then I would, you know, write the letters, type the letters, yeah.
So you enjoyed working there? The environment was
Yeah.
good?
Oh, yeah.
Were you the only lady up there,
No.
or were there other ones?
No, there was Ms. Angel. I think she's from Brobridge,
Okay.
originally from Brobridge. But I don't know, you know, where she was living when she worked there. But she was kind of more or less my boss. But yet not, because it was Mr. Milo. We called him Milo. His name was Emil, I think. We called him Mr. Milo. He was a very nice person. They both were.
Well, that's good that your bosses are nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, were there any perks of working with Mervyn Con up there? Did you get like discounts on any items?
I don't think so. I don't remember. Maybe I did, but I just don't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
Well, yeah. Well, that's okay. I'll tell you what I know, and what I don't know, I will tell you.
Now, how did you get to work? Did you walk or drive?
I did drive, but I didn't have a car at that time, but it was a family car. And my dad would bring me and sometimes come to get me again, you know, and sometimes I drove the car. If they didn't need it at home, then I would drive the car.
What kind of car was it? Do you remember?
It was a Plymouth. Yeah.
What color?
It was dark blue, like navy blue, I think. Oh, you racking my brain now.
Now, when you started working there, because you said you worked there before you got married.
Yes.
Were you doing it to help out your family, or was it just so that you could have some money?
I helped out my family, yes.
Okay. What lessons did you learn from working at Mervyn Con?
Like, give me an example.
Like how to keep track of your money and make sure what you have to spend it on and what you
Yeah.
need to keep for the family.
Yeah, well, I know I've met a lot of good people that work there, you know, and I have always remembered those, like Miss Stella, who's here, and that's about all. And my husband had an uncle who worked in the men's department, and he was funny. He'd put a jacket on you, and he'd hold it from the back, and he'd say, "Oh, that fits good." But anyway, he worked there for years and years.
Is that how you met your husband?